Um, this is another of my book tastings. This one is fantasy. I think one of them has a little horror in it, which I'm not thrilled about, but just one. We'll see. And I've only heard of one of these authors, so they're all pretty much new to me. So this is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. And I pulled I pulled a tag out of my book prompt jar. Start a new series. As if I need a new series. This one, I'm actually going to read the synopsis to you. It says 17-year-old Kiva Meriden has spent the last 10 years fighting for survival in the notorious death prison Zalandov, working as the prison healer. When the rebel queen is captured, Kiva is charged with keeping the terminally ill woman alive long enough for her to undergo the trial by ordeal, a series of elemental challenges against the torments of air, fire, water, and earth, assigned to only the most dangerous of criminals. Then a coded message from Kiva's family arrives containing a single order: "Don't let her die, we are coming." Aware that the trials will kill the sickly queen, Kiva risks her own life and volunteers in her place. If she succeeds, both she and the queen will be granted their freedom. But no one has ever survived. With an incredible plague sweeping Zalandov, a mysterious new inmate fighting for Kiva's heart, and a prison rebellion brewing, Kiva can't escape the terrible feeling that her trials have only just begun. Sounds pretty good. I don't think I've ever read a high fantasy. I've read Harry Potter and The Discovery of Witches and like middle grade fantasy. I don't know what other adult fantasy I've read, but this is supposed to be clean too, so that's good. Oh, and she actually left a note to Sarah J. Maas. Thank you for being so generous with your friendship, support, and encouragement, but mostly thank you for believing in me even and especially when I didn't. Oh, that's nice. Came out in 2021. Ooh, and there's a map. Ooh. I love maps. And then there's this one. Okay, prologue. Short prologue. Here we go. So, like I said, I'm not a big fantasy person, but I want to get into fantasy. Um, Boring so far. Not. I mean, there was action. Like I don't know what they called them. Soldiers came to the house or something to get the whole family. But I'd say not a contender. Not right now. Not a never. Just not right now. Okay, my obsession. The Age of Witches by Louisa Morgan. Witches. I love witches. And this book tag out of my prompt jar says paranormal, which of course it is. And then let's see when this one was. 2020. It says a magical tale of family, ambition, and love set in Gilded Age New York and London. Oh. In 1692, Bridget Bishop was hanged as a witch. 200 years later, her legacy lives on in the scions of two very different lines. One dedicated to using their powers to heal and help women in need, the other determined to grasp power for themselves by any means necessary. This clash will play out in the fate of Annis, a young woman in Gilded Age New York who finds herself to be a pawn in the family struggle for supremacy. She'll need to claim her own power to save herself and resist succumbing to the darkness that threatens to overcome them all. Sound good. I'm not a lover of historical fiction either, but when there's witches, when there's witches, I'll read it. Okay, here we go. Sounds good. So there's a witch that is getting ready to be hanged. And she said she doesn't even know if she's a witch, but she does have powers. So it must have been like before witches were, I don't know, like, but they hung her because of the powers that she had and what she did. And she has 2 daughters, and she said she gave her daughters the powers that she had. I would say this is definitely a contender. Out of my book prompt jar, I pulled, and this was kind of pushing it, Happy Cover, The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin. Which, I mean, it's not an ugly cover. It's really pretty, but I would call it happy. All the books in my house, and this is all I could find. Let's see. $2018. That's a long time ago. It says, if you knew the date of your death, how would you live your life? It's 1969 in New York City's Lower East Side, and word has spread of the arrival of a mystical woman, a traveling psychic who claims to be able to tell anyone the day they will die. The Gold Children, 4 adolescents on the cusp of self-awareness, sneak out to hear their fortunes. The prophecies inform their next 5 decades. Golden Boy Simon escapes to the West Coast, searching for love in 80s San Francisco. Dreamy Clara becomes a Las Vegas magician, obsessed with blurring reality and fantasy. Eldest son, Daniel, struggles to maintain security as an army doctor post 9/11. And bookish Varia throws herself into longevity research, where she tests the boundary between science and immortality. Both a dazzling family love story and a sweeping novel of remarkable ambition and depth, The Immortalitas, I don't know how to say that, probes the line between destiny and choice, reality and illusion, this world and the next. It is a deeply moving testament of the power of story, the nature of belief, and the unrelenting pull of familial bonds. It confused me because it said in 1969, New York City's Lower East Side, but then it says post 9/11. So it must, like, I don't know. Wow. Okay, here we go. I would not say it's a contender. It's kind of... I don't know, kind of boring. Didn't really grab me. So 1 contender so far out of 3. Okay, so this one is by an author that I DNF'd one of his books. So this book prompt jar pick was popular fantasy book that I'm avoiding. I'm avoiding it because I DNF'd one of his other books. So I'm like, okay, is this going to be better or... And the other book that I DNF'd was like The House in the Cerulean Sea, which everybody loved. And I am going to reread that. But this one is Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune. Light. And says death is only their beginning. So, I don't know. Let's see. Is this one before 2021? It says, welcome to Sharon's Crossing. I don't know how to say that name. The tea is hot, the scones are fresh, and the dead are just passing through. Eek. When a reaper comes to collect Wallace from his own funeral, Wallace begins to suspect he might be dead. Okay. And when Hugo, the owner of a peculiar tea shop, promises to help him cross over, Wallace decides he's definitely dead. But even in death, he's not ready to abandon the life he barely lived. So when Wallace is given 1 week to cross over, he sets about living a lifetime in 7 days. Hilarious, haunting, and kind, Under the Whispering Door is an uplifting story about a life spent at the office and a death spent building a home. Interesting. Does sound good. Is it supposed to have humor in it? Like, I don't usually like humor, but that was cute. It says, for Eric, I hope you woke up in a strange place. I think I'm going to like this. The author's note says, this story explores life and love as well as loss and grief. There are discussions of death in different forms. Quiet, unexpected, and death by suicide. Please read with care. I don't know about this. Okay, let's read some. I like this. Definitely like it better than the beginning of The House in the Cerulean Sea. Huh. I think I'm going to keep this one and put this one away. Now, one contender. Last book. Grey Mist Fair by Francesca Zappia. And book prompt jar pick was place in title. So I picked this one. Because I guess Grey Mist is the city or kingdom or whatever they're in. Oh, this just came out this year. A map. Look at the map. It says, I don't have the heart to leave my children in the forest. The wild beasts will soon come and tear them apart. And when the full moon had risen, Hansel took his little sister by the hand and followed the pebbles which shone like newly minted silver pieces and showed them the way. Hansel and Gretel. So is this a retelling? I don't know. Wow, long chapters. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Okay, this must be like a prologue. It's one page. Okay, here we go. And I forgot, another fantasy I read was, The Bear and the Nightingale. I don't think I'm going to do that one. Kind of boring. So, that was easy. That eliminated them all. But this one. Okay. Yeah, I love this one. This one really sounded good. I didn't know, like, all the fantasy I've read. I mean, I'm not really counting Harry Potter. But, like, it's hasn't had humor. Like, it's been dark and mysterious and serious, and but this one sounds good. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye.